Welcome back to Midnight Signal AI. Today is June 10th, 2026, and the Frontier AI arms race just leveled up for developers, educators, and frankly, anyone watching the Claude Gemini GPT rivalry.
We've got sweeping moves from Anthropic opening Mythos-class models to the public, Google's Gemini making measurable impact in real classrooms, and OpenAI's Codex quietly redefining how engineers tackle tough bugs, plus a new trick for Gemini's translation powers.
Let's kick off with the biggest model release of the day, Anthropic's Claude Fable 5, now publicly available with Mythos-class power and a fresh set of safety rails.
This is a massive moment for Anthropic. Up to now, Mythos-class power was locked away for select cyber clients. Now, with Claude Fable 5, they're letting the public taste what's under the hood, but with strict safety rails. The dual release, Mythos 5 for trusted orgs, Fable 5 for everyone else, signals Anthropic's balancing act between capability and control. The 10-day trial window for Mythos-level access is clever. It both builds buzz and lets them gather data on how these models behave in the wild. But the big question is, do these guardrails really hold up against sophisticated attacks? And will users accept the trade-off between raw power and safety restrictions?
The fact that Anthropic is marketing Fable 5 as explicitly unusable for cyber attacks shows just how high the stakes are for AI safety, and also how much regulatory risk looms. Industry watchers are already speculating, if these safety mechanisms work, Anthropic could set a new standard for responsible open access. But if the guardrails crack, there's going to be blowback not just for them, but for the whole sector. And let's not forget, this raises the bar for OpenAI and Google. Public Mythos-class means the expectations for what's possible just shifted.
And from a developer perspective, the access story's huge. You've got Mythos-class models now within reach for plugins, apps, and even education pilots. Watch for a wave of new benchmarks and side-by-side tests in the coming days, especially around code generation and advanced reasoning. But the safety controls could be a double-edged sword. Will they block innovative use cases or prevent the worst-case scenarios? Either way, Anthropic has thrown down a gauntlet.
And it's not just about safety and access. With Amazon AWS and Microsoft Foundry in the mix as cloud backers, this race is as much about infrastructure and scale as pure model capability. We'll be tracking how quickly Fable 5 adoption spreads, and whether rivals respond with their own public releases or keep their frontier models gated.
Speaking of real-world impact, let's shift to Google DeepMind, where Gemini's guided learning just completed a randomized trial in Sierra Leone, and the results are more than just a PR win.
This is one of the first times we've seen a flagship model's feature, Gemini's guided learning, proven out in a randomized trial, not just a demo or anecdote. The fact that it delivered measurable improvements in engagement and learning for real students in Sierra Leone is significant. It shows that these models aren't just theoretical tools, they can shape outcomes in some of the world's most challenging educational settings.
Right, and it's a double signal. On one hand, it's a proof point for the positive impact AI can have on global education, especially in under-resourced contexts. On the other, it sets a new baseline for what policymakers and edtech buyers expect from AI. If Gemini can deliver this, the pressure's on for competitors to show real results, not just promises. But it also raises classic risks: privacy, overfitting interventions to one context, and the classic tech-for-good hype cycle. Still, this is a milestone moment for AI in education.
Let's keep the focus on real-world AI deployment, but jump to OpenAI's Codex, now supercharged with GPT 5.5 and being put to work at Nextdoor for some of the messiest engineering challenges.
This is classic AI augmentation. Codex with GPT 5.5 is letting Nextdoor's engineers find and fix bugs that used to be a nightmare, especially those hard-to-reproduce production issues. It's not just about writing new code, it's about making the whole engineering workflow smarter. That shift, AI as a debugging partner, not just an autocomplete, is what's going to separate the next generation of developer tooling. And with Codex now capable of cross-platform support, you have to wonder, are we nearing the era where the most frustrating software issues just go away?
It really reframes what we mean by developer productivity. If Codex can help engineers spend less time on plumbing and more on product impact, the competitive pressure on rivals like Copilot and Claude ramps up. But there's a flip side. If teams lean too hard on AI for debugging, will subtle bugs slip through? Will model hallucinations creep into mission-critical code? It's a new world, but the fundamentals of trust and verification still matter.
And for OpenAI, getting Nextdoor to go public with this use case is a smart strategic play. It shows Codex isn't just a research tool, it's ready for production, at scale, in real organizations. Expect a wave of similar case studies as AI-powered workflow becomes the new default, not the exception.
Now, while Anthropic and OpenAI have drawn most of the attention, Google's not sitting still. Gemini 3.5 just picked up a new trick, Live Translate for instant voice-to-voice conversation.
Live voice-to-voice translation is one of those things that sounds like science fiction until you see it in action. Gemini's 3.5's move is both an incremental and symbolic leap, bringing real-time spoken language translation to anyone with a compatible device. For travelers, global teams, or anyone bridging language barriers, this is a big deal. But the devil's in the details. Accuracy, latency, and privacy are all major hurdles. If Google gets those right, this could be a flagship capability for Gemini going forward.
And this is where the AI race gets personal. Translation isn't just about travel. It's about accessibility, global commerce, even diplomacy. The more seamless AI makes these interactions, the more it unlocks new markets and new forms of collaboration. But as with all things AI, what's possible also comes with new exposure. Translation errors, miscommunications, and privacy risks. Still, it's clear Google's intent is to make Gemini indispensable in your daily life.
And you can bet Apple, DeepL, and Meta are taking notes. Voice-first AI is now the next competitive battleground, and real-world accuracy will be the ultimate judge.
Let's zoom out for a second, because today's stories really highlight how the AI landscape is fragmenting. We're not just seeing faster models, it's about how they're applied. Education, engineering, translation, safety. Each major player is betting on a different combination of openness and control.
Exactly. Across all these stories, it's clear the pattern is frontier AI is moving from research labs to the real world. But the old trade-offs, power versus safety, accessibility versus risk, aren't going away. Whether it's Anthropic's public Mythos-class, Gemini's learning boost, or Codex's code wrangling, the question isn't just what the models can do, but how responsibly and broadly they can be deployed.
Thanks for listening to Midnight Signal AI. We'll be back tomorrow to track the next moves. Stay sharp. The future doesn't wait.